Got it, Captain. 1 second, I just wanted to go across to Sanjay Lazar as well. Another way of looking at it is that, in a market like this, the pilot is the boss. There is a big demand for pilots, a huge demand. This is one of the largest markets in the world, growing massively, exponentially. The supply often doesn't match the demand. And therefore, pilots have the right to walk. And so if the Air India group, the extended group, or Vistara in this particular case, choose not to bend, then there is every possibility that they might end up having pilots go across to another airline. And the reason I say this is because there are already reports which have come out on more than a dozen pilots having recently quit Vistara.
Thank you, Vishnu. Thank you for having me on your show. Yes, absolutely right. Actually, there are 21 pilots as of yesterday who are serving a notice period already. 6 are from the 787, and I believe 15 are from the 320. I'm also given to understand that there could be 11 more. So that's a lot of people who are going to walk. Some of these people have spoken out saying they've been pushed to the wall. Now, it's an extremely sad situation because Vistara is by far and away the best airline in the country in terms of in-flight service, in terms of on-time performance, in terms of overall image. And it's sad that, both parties are not talking to each other to resolve this. Having said that, I don't believe you can tell somebody who's earning 70 hours guaranteed that accept 40 hours and move to the new carrier, when the market leader Indigo is paying 70 hours and they control 65% of the market. You're very right, Vishnu. There is a supply and demand problem. There are at least 4,000 pilots short in the country. We've got expat pilots coming in earning 16, 18, 20 lakh rupees reportedly. And yet here we are asking a young first officer or a senior first officer to take a hit and go down from 3 lakhs to 2 lakhs or 1.5 lakhs, or from 2 lakhs to 1 lakh. And that's a huge drop. Remember, like Captain Ranganathan says, it cost them 1.5 crore to do their training. CPL doesn't cost what it cost 20 years ago. If we as airlines, our airlines are ordering 2,000 aircraft, we need to be able to provide market forces prices. We have the DGCA norm of 1 year notice period, which is now 6 months. Let drop that. Have a free market. Let's see what happens. Because you're bringing in foreigners at huge market prices. Today, Qatar Airways is paying their pilots 10 to 14 lakhs. What is our Indian pilot getting? Nothing. So I think there's a lot of scope for soul searching here from both sides. I do not condone the delays to flights, the cancellations. This is holiday season. Kids' exams are getting over. And disruptions across the network. Vistara has managed them brilliantly by, reslotting 787s for 320s and stuff like that. But there's a morale issue also. I can sense that, pilots across the country are feeling this. It's not only Vistara. And the ministry needs to step in. I hope the minister does. He's taken steps to ask for reports. But I think it's deeper than that. The other point, if I may, please,
yes,
is the FDTL car, which is also, muddied the waters.
Flight duty time limitations, yeah.
And that, had it come into being, would have changed would have uplifted pilots across the airlines. So these are, small points that I think that, would work. And I believe that, the Vistara management is still a very enlightened management. They can, pop across and sit down with these guys. These are guys who built this airline into India's best airline. And I'm sure they're willing to go, the last mile to walk with them.
Yeah. Vinamra, as I understand it, the terms of the new contract which have been offered now is similar in a sense to the contract which was offered to Air India pilots earlier on, as the Tatas tried to secure this new venture of theirs, which of course they'd taken over partly from the government. At that stage, there was discontentment among Air India pilots as well on the terms of this contract, which they were forced to sign in a sense because they didn't have any choice. They didn't have any choice because Go Air at that stage went under. And when Go Air went under, there was all of a sudden a glut of pilots, many of whom were willing to join Air India at essentially any salary because they needed to earn. Therefore, the other pilots in Air India pretty much had no choice but to sign on to the terms of this contract. As I understand it, it's Vistara pilots now presented with a similar contract who are in a position to say, look, no, this doesn't work for me. Are you getting anything along these lines?
You see, the thing is, Vishnu, in order to discuss a contract, one has got to have a copy of the contract. One has got to sort of had a chance to go through the contract to understand the nitty-gritties of it. Now, I haven't seen these contracts. I'm not privy to compensation structures. And unlike my enlightened friend Sanjay, I definitely don't know how many pilots are on notice and who's leaving and who's not leaving.